Hello, welcome to Ephemera Files by Tommy, and today I am working with a kit from Cara Brandon. This is actually a freebie that is offered on her Facebook page, so go there, look up Cara Brandon and Friends, and fill out the information that you need to fill out in order to become a part of the group. Every Friday she offers a freebie, and then you can make something out of it, post it in the group, and if you make it by the deadline, you get into a drawing. I'm doing this just because I think it's fun. I have yet to win anything, but it's probably because I've only turned in 2 things on time. I have made a lot of things though, and they're so much fun. She makes good stuff. So this is the Friday freebie that was posted. Let's see, today is Monday, so 3 days ago. Yeah, 3 days ago. I love it. I love the stamps. I love the tickets. I love the price tags and all the numbers. This is just very appealing to me. This is right up my alley. So I am going to try to do this in a video. I have not done that yet. I've just simply made it and shared it. So let's see what happens. The first thing I did was print it on the wrong paper. I printed it on just plain old copy paper because I did not realize that the paper that was in my printer had been switched to print something else. Either didn't realize it, didn't remember, it doesn't matter. I just printed it on the wrong paper. Matter of fact, I printed it twice on the wrong paper. So I had 2 of these on just this lightweight printer weight paper, which is what, like 20 pounds, I think. So I did already watch her video for her make, and I was going to do this and then she did it, but I'm still going to do this. I made an envelope out of the wrong paper print, and I did notice that on her video she was trying to figure out how to not make it sideways, I think, or it came out sideways and she wasn't sure she liked it. It's been a few minutes since I watched the video. And so I did some finagling to figure out how to have the print upright on the front of the envelope. And I had to cut, excuse me, at a 90-degree angle, a square. The biggest square I could get out of it was 5.5 by 5.5. I used my We Are Memory Keepers envelope punch board. She has a We Are Memory Keepers envelope punch board, but hers also, oh, you know what? Mine does have it. Haha, it's a corner rounder back here. I didn't know I had a corner rounder back here until just this moment. I just used this one. That's okay, it still worked. Anyway, 5.5 by 5.5 gives me an envelope this size. And that is the biggest size that I could get on this piece of paper. That would be 45 on a 45-degree angle. And that works for me. This is fine. This is what I'll be using. So I had 2 of those sheets of paper, and I'm going to do something else with this one. With this paper from a book. And these are the scraps that I had from cutting that paper. And I did a lot of folding in order to find out how big a piece of paper I could get. So I already did that for you. I think that this did not print borderless, and so I had to cut, I think, like 1/4 of an inch off of each end. So if you print borderless like I did on this second set, you might be able to go with a 5 3/4 or so envelope and get your right side up on here. Now, if that doesn't matter to you, then go for it. You can get a much larger envelope. But like I said, I did all the finagling and folding for you. If you want to go ahead and use that number, 5.5, it works. And I will use these too. They will not be tossed. Then, after I realized I had printed on the wrong paper, I went back and printed it again. This time it's on 28. That's only slightly thicker, but it's thick enough for what I wanted. And on one of these pages, since I printed 2 of it as well, I cut each of these out. and I got this pile of goodies. I have not gone through and clipped corners or anything like that. Some of them you can see they're missing a piece, but when you're making a collage, you end up missing pieces anyway. Like this one, I just kept it together. But if I was going to do this, and then say I was going to put, let me just grab something here. I'm just going to tuck it under behind that for a little bit of interest. You're not going to know that it was missing that part and missing that part when you see the final product. So I got this whole stack here of tags and numbers and tickets and all that goodness. So let's get started. I haven't really planned much further than what I've told you, so let's see what happens. First thing I'm going to do is I am going to back this paper with this sheet of paper. Now let's see, this is from a book, this Irish Murders or something, and it was a book that I wanted the cover because I wanted to make a St. Patrick's Day journal at some point, which I haven't made yet. And I think, let's go with this side, because just in case part of it shows, I think that this side is better word-wise. Now I'm going to get my glue stick, and I need to go get another paper so that I can use my glue paper on here, but have a glue paper underneath of it. Oh my goodness. All right, so I'm going to glue the entire back of this. I think it is slightly larger than the paper lengthwise, but I don't know exactly where that is, and I would rather be able to fiddle with it just a bit to get it exactly where I want it. So I like to have that little bit of playroom. I'm sorry, that's really loud. Still in my basement, still don't have my setup. You can probably hear my heater in the background, even though it is 90 degrees outside. It is chilly in the basement. All right, so that is all glued. Put that to the side. And I'm just going to line this up as best I can on here. And I'm going to get my squeegee, I guess is what it is. I don't know. I think it's a squeegee. It works like one. And that helps me to get smooth application and contact on the paper. And I do have that much hanging off, so I will go ahead and take my scissors and cut that off real quick. And then I am going to go ahead and trim this down as well. Let's see, I need to find a good line. I'll trim that right along that one. I can see a line of tickets on the back, so I have a guide. And these scissor blades are long enough that once you get started, if you keep this against the edge of your page, it helps you to cut a straight line, because I am not good at cutting a straight line without help. All right, so there is the first part of my project. And I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to try to remember. I think I meant to glue this the other direction, but that's okay. How I want to do this. Actually, I'm going to cut this right here. I had kind of an idea, but not a solid concrete idea. And now I'm kind of rethinking my idea. Tell me I'm not the only one that happens to. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is just make this a floating a floating project. I don't know what the right word would be. And I'm going to save this for later because I'm going to do something else with it. So I'm going to get another page. I have one right here. And I'm going to glue it to the back here. So I need my glue page back that I used already. And maybe this time I'll glue it on there the right direction. You know, I didn't think about it. I could actually use the glue page that I'm getting ready to glue onto as my glue page, because it won't matter if there's glue on it since it's getting ready to be glued down. I should try that sometime. Might save me some pages and some work. Yes, I want to make sure that that's this way. Yes, because I want to be able to, I don't know, I'm figuring it out as I go along, and you're watching me with this mess. All right, so squeegee that down. Squeegee on the other side, since it's trying to curl up, that kind of evens the glue out, I think. And now we'll just cut this edge off again. And this time I'm just going to follow the edge that's there. This glue page is thinner paper than the other glue page because this dictionary was really old that it came out of. If I remember right, it was an late 1800s dictionary. That the first junk journal that I ever sold was made out of that cover. All right. So now, yes. Now I can fold this up to a pocket to make a pocket, and the words are right side up. All right, so that is done, and I think that I want to put this on the back here. Yep, that's what I'll do. And this is going to be a pocket here, and this envelope's going to hang down. So I am going to scoot this up just a little so that envelope just meets the bottom there. And holding that together, I'm going to trim off the top of that back page. Just like that. Okay, now I'm going to make this a pocket on the inside here. So I'm going to get my We Are Memories Keeper punch, because I like this. I like this for my turning pages. No, I like this for my thumb notches. How about that? Better than I like the circles. And so I'm going in 2 inches from the end, and I'm going to go in 2 inches from this end, and that way they'll be offset, which I think makes it also easier when you have a pocket like this, because then you actually have a different space on each side to know where you're going to. I also want to go ahead and round my corners up here before I glue it together, and I'll round the corners down here as well. Oh, see, I forgot that was there. Wonder how long it'll take me to remember that. Probably forever, because this is just easier for me to remember. And I'm not going to round these corners down here because they will be up from the bottom of the page. So that won't really make a difference. I also need to put a thumb notch here. And this one I'm going to just line up with the center where the, what is that called? The gutter. I think it's called the gutter of the page. When you have two columns, I believe it is called a gutter. Anyway, it's right between the two entries. How about that? All right. Now I am going to go ahead and glue this pocket together. And I'm going to glue it together here as well. And then I'll set it to the side while I make the things that I'm going to fill it up with. Okay, so now let's look at what we've got to work with to fill up our pockets. We already know that we're going to have this envelope, and I didn't tell you that I also adjusted the color some so I'd have a little bit more variety on the colors. I am going to go ahead and glue this together. Let's see. I think, yeah, it'd be better to glue this part. Because it's harder to tell on the other side. Ooh, I was gonna line that first. Okay, it's not too late. I'm gonna take my other glue page here. Let's see, and yep, that fits. So I'm going to rub off my glue that I put on there. I'm going to put it back on there. I just need to rub it off enough so that it is dry enough that I can work with this without it gluing itself to everything that I don't want it glued to. All right, and this fits. This just fits. Right there. So I'm going to go ahead and take my glue stick. And look, I remembered to put it on my, I don't like that. I remember to put it on my glue paper. So there we go. Glue this down. Probably should have done this before I cut the envelope, but I didn't know I was going to do this. In hindsight, it might be better to go ahead and assemble your envelope, at least regarding front and back. If you're going to do any stenciling or anything on the inside, go ahead and do that before you cut it out. And then you can go ahead and cut it out, and you won't have to do the fussy cutting that I'm getting ready to do. Because this paper is now sticky enough with the other glue spots that I don't want to put it through my We Are Memory Keepers punch. Now you're going to hear some music in the background, except for I'm going to speed this up, so maybe you won't. Okay, so now my envelope corners probably aren't quite so pretty, but they're really close to what they were, and I don't think that you're going to see it when I get done anyway. All right, so let's go ahead and get that folded back up again. Where'd it go? Had my bone folder out here. Oh, I put it back where it belongs. Imagine that. That's how come I can't find it. Yep, looks like all the folds are good. And that's my front, so this is where I'm gluing. And so I'm going to put glue again where I just put it already, only this time it'll stay on there. Because this time I know what I'm doing. Maybe. I think I misfolded over here somewhere because that is not aligning right. It'll be okay. It will be okay. And I think, yeah, that overlaps way more. So I'm going to add a little more glue. I can see where it stops though. So I'm going to add it to the edge of this one. Without going up under that part, because I still want it to open. I still want it to be a usable envelope. All right, so there's our envelope. Put it under there so it can dry flat. Now what are we gonna do? So we have our pocket. I need some stuff to put in the pockets. And I need some stuff to put in the envelopes. And I don't want it to just look like that. I don't want it to just look like that. I want to add things to it. I have some, I just saw this, I have some red twine here that I'm probably going to incorporate somewhere. Don't know that I'll use that black ribbon, but I might. I don't know. There's some blue over there too. I got all kinds of stuff all over the place because I have a lot of projects going on. All right, so this one is thicker paper. I still think though that it needs something inside of it. I wonder, okay, I can't just fold it in half, but maybe I could make a small traveler's notebook to go on the inside of that. I think I like that idea. So let's see how wide this is. It is 5 1/8 inches. So I am going to take my clothespins off because the glue has set. I am going to cut it at, or not cut it, but fold it at 4 1/4, which is a traveler's notebook size. First, I want to back this on some paper, on some more paper though, because even though it's a little heavier, it's not my heaviest paper. And I want to make sure that it can stand up to being a cover. All right, I think this goes really well with that color scheme. This is my old schedule of what I used to do, how my day ran, and I have to change some things up on it. So I am using these papers, and even though you can see some of the stuff on the inside, number one, it's going to be backwards. It's probably going to have more things covered, and I really don't care if you see what my schedule used to be. It's not that big a deal to me. So let's get this going. If it's 4 1/4, then it's going to be 8 1/2. that I need to cut it to. My goodness, my desk is swamped. So let's see. I'm going to go to 8.5. I can cut both of them at the same time, if I can keep a hold of both of them to keep them lined up together. Let's see. Yes, 8.5. There we go. And then it also measures 8.5, which I think is standard notebook size, but that's going to stick out. You know what? I think it's going to stick out pretty perfectly, but I'm going to make it just a little bit shorter. I'm going to go with 8, just because. Because I can, because I'm making it and I can. All right, and we'll save these little pieces still, because I think that looks like a perfect little strip of paper to use for a belly band or an accent on a tag or whatever. So here we go. I am going to glue this, and I'm just going to do the same thing like I did on the other. I'm going to glue it on this because it's going to glue. It's going to be glued together and it'll be great. Where to go? There it is. Again, that probably would have been easier had I glued it and then cut it. I'm doing a whole lot of hindsight in this. All right. Perfect. And I will get handful of my hand-dyed papers to put in here, and I will be right back. All right, so I went and got some of the papers that are actually overdyes of misprints that I had. I don't like to throw away papers, and so in the center here was something that I tried to print. It didn't work, so I immediately put water on it, and it causes the ink to run. You'll still get a bit of an outline, but I have this one, and then this one, you can see the misprint. Well, you can see where it was. This one in a different color misprint, and a different one. And this one, you can see that I was trying to make a print of some lined paper because the lines are on there very faintly. Got this one. And then we've got some misprints that you can still see part of the design. And I don't mind having some butterflies in here with my stamps. I'll probably add some butterflies to the finished project anyway. Have some flower leaves, little pink flowers you can barely see. You can just barely see the butterflies on that one, but they still show. And so I am going to cut these to size and then fold them up and put them in the journal. Okay, so I'm glad I wasn't showing you how to make a traveler's notebook, because this is not the best traveler's notebook I have ever made, and may even be the worst, but it's made and I can remake it if I want, and I don't have to show it to anybody. And let's take these clips off here and take a look at how this turned out thus far. And hopefully this fits in here, because when I made the notebook, I mismeasured and cut all of the pages wrong. And so it was too wide. And I think maybe that's not going to work with that either. So it may just have to be a set. I do think that I am going to run over and stitch around the pocket real quick. Just because when I put that in there, I could already feel it coming apart. And it's probably because of the age of the pages. So I will be sewing this on. All right, so I've sewn that. Cut some excess threads off of there. I don't mind a little bit hanging, but that's a little too much, I think. Well, are you gonna cut or are you not? There we go. Okay, so since this is just going to be a part of the set, I'm going to set it aside and work on this. I still need something to go down in it now because I messed up the other part. So we'll see what I can figure out from there. Let me get some of this stuff, sorry that was noisy, put away so I can actually see what I'm doing. All right, I know this is tucking in there on the front, just like that. I like the way that looks, and I may even make a tag clip to go on there. I have these red tags, and I think I'm just gonna make a ticket clip to put on there to help hold that onto the pocket. And this is probably going to be the simplest one I've ever made. I think I am going to take a piece of this red butcher's twine or baker's twine or whatever it is, and go ahead and tie it onto the end of the paper clip in a little bow. All right, I like that. And so now I am going to simply take my glue here. This happens to be Fabri-Tac in the Sugar Bell bottle. So glad that somebody introduced me into this, even though I don't have a clue who it was. I do not remember, I am sorry. I have seen several people do it, so I don't know who the originator was that encouraged me to get this. And if it was you, thank you. Whoops, didn't want to do that. I'll get my clothespins out here again. I love these little clothespins. They are so handy when you just need to hold a small job together. I have some bigger ones, but I can't find them. I was looking for those when I put the pocket together and had to resort to my great big binder clips because my slightly larger clothespins would have reached. All right, we'll set that to the side. I know that that's going there. Let's see what else we have here. We've got all of these, and I do know that I want to make some journaling cards to go in here that I can tuck in behind. That one's tall enough, it can still be seen. That probably needs to be my determining factor, is if it's tall enough to be seen back there. But I don't want everything to just blend in together either. So I need to do a little something extra with that. All right, so I think I'm going to pick up on the pink and the yellow and the red that is in the packaging. I won't be using the back side of this. I'll put some lined paper on it. I think I want to find a stamp for this as well. And I'm going to put, if one of these has an address label that's large enough, or something to be used as an address label that's large enough. I don't know that that's big enough, so I'm probably going to get some of mine out. Let's see if I have anything in this batch that will work and not take away. Those are a little bit too bright white. Do I have any older ones? I've got that. Those might work. I'll leave them out because I might use them for something else instead. See, those are all bright. Those are bright. Those are bright. This might work. It's not bright, but I think it's solid enough that it'll stand out. Have anything else in there? No. Nope. Nope. All right, so I'll zip that. Okie doke. These are Dollar Tree, and you can usually find them there fairly easily. Let's see, that's huge. Let's try the circle, or oval actually. We'll just put the oval right here. Just like that, you can still see through that. I didn't realize that they were semi-transparent. That's pretty cool. And I'm going to find a stamp. My battery has to be running down. All right, so I forgot to turn my camera back on, so let me catch you up. I went and I got my labels. These are Dollar Tree labels out of my organizer over there, and found one that fit, and it's still sheer. You can still see the print behind it. I went and found a stamp that I thought went really well, and I just touched the edges with my ink pad because it kind of blended into that too much. And then I glued more of that planner onto the back of this strip and discovered it was too long because this pocket only goes to here, and I keep measuring down to here. So I'm just going to cut off this top part. And this is still absolutely usable because it just looks like a little ticket or a tag. I am going to make this into a tag. So I'm going to cut off right there. And I can't remember who I saw do this first, but since I'm not sure where my tag punch is, then it works really well. And if you don't have a tag punch, even better, because then you're not worried about where it is and if you're ever going to get it unpacked like I am. Although I do believe they are starting work on my studio this week, which is so exciting to me because I'm tired of being in the basement. And there we go. There is music clock going on again. I'm going to pull out a couple of these hole reinforcers. I think I'm trying to decide if I want the metallic or if I want the white. I think I'm going to actually go with the silver. I think that'll look good on there. These pouches I got at Dollar Tree, and I hooked them together with binder rings through each of the holes, and it kind of makes a book out of it, and I can organize and store some of my different stickers. Labeling stickers is mostly what I have in here. Hole reinforcers. Let's see. Since my camera is on now, I will show you again. I have some sticker tabs here. I have label stickers, more label stickers, more label stickers. These are some slide-in stickers that you can put on books, and you can just slide in. I think that they're meant for like 3-ring binders. And then more labels here, and that's where I got these. They go in with that pack. But I don't know if I'm going to use more of these, so I'm going to leave it out. Oh, and these were in there too. When you forget to turn your camera on, you don't exactly know what you shared and didn't share. All right. I will put a bit of this through the hole and just add that little bit of decoration to it if I can get a hold of it. Last time I got my nails done, I had him make them too long. I've already cut this one down some because I couldn't even hold an ink pen. I mean, they're pretty, but they're not very useful. All right, so there is that. I'll tie another knot in the end of the string. Because this is baker's twine, it would completely unravel if I didn't do that, and I don't think that's a look I'm wanting to go for. All right, so this will go in there. Just like that. Let's see, what else were we gonna do? I think that I'm just going to go through a bunch of these, see what fits in there and doesn't blend in too much into the background. I think I already said this, but I'm not really sure, so I'm saying it again. And I'm going to fill up that pocket. I think I need something just a little bit taller. I found these papers, and I think that they go with it really well, just to give a little bit more interest. I will be covering the back of this paper because that doesn't go with it at all. So there we go, and I will be right back after I get all that done.